Hi everyone, and welcome to the podcast Fly with Mel. Usually I use this podcast to share some stories about travels and self-development, and I do it in French. But today I've decided to come with a special edition in English to talk about this pandemic and this strange time that we're all facing together. So take a seat and enjoy. Today I have my friend Mehdi with me.
Hi everybody.
So Mehdi is a DJ scientist. He's living in Australia for more than 5 years now. He's a scientist during the day, which means that he's working in a laboratory and he's very aware about science and this pandemic. And he's doing some music track during the night. So
yeah, just to make sure I got a good balance. to not be always regarding the sickness and the disease. I'm very happy to be here because the idea to do the whole podcast in English to touch the maximum of people was very interesting for me because we want to spread the message and bring a podcast full of motivation to keep up the smile during this strange time. And I think the real question was how to deal with fear and adopt our daily routine during this strange time.
Yeah, and so this is the theme of this first episode. Thank you, Mehdi. And as you said, the situation is very, very strange for everyone. Some people are very lost. Some others are like struggling with their daily life and financially, or facing new kind of fear, because I think we have like now a new level of fear for everyone because no one has the answer of what will happen next. So that's why we wanted to come here with a positive podcast and try to keep your smile up. So we came with a couple of questions for each of us. Mehdi, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course. And my first question for you will be, how can I stay mentally healthy while practicing social distancing, working from home, for example, and all of this?
So I think it can be very hard because we are not really used to that. We are now living in a society where we have a lot of possibilities to do every day. We have a lot of choices that we can make. Decisions that we can take. We are living a fast life, and we are definitely not used to this kind of life, which is where we are forced to stay at home and sit with our fears, because this is mostly what is happening, right? We are suddenly asking to stay at home inside, and for most of people, we are not used to that because it means also staying with our thinking and our all the fears that we can have in our minds. So this is very, very hard, and it can be a very difficult time for people who are struggling with mental health. And when I say that, I include everyone, because we all have our anxiety and stress happening in our minds. So when suddenly you're asking to stay at home, I think the first thing you do is just thinking about all the bad things that you can have in your head. And to face that, to find the right way to deal with this situation, I think my first advice would be to find your own rhythm and the one that will make you feel good at the end of the day. Because your own rhythm may not be the same for your friend or for the person you're living with. So take a paper, write a to-do list each day at the beginning of your day. It may be part of your morning routine, whatever. Make a to-do list, plan each day after another. Write down all the things that you want to do during your day. If you're working, do your working to-do list and also the thing that you have aside. So for example, if you want to put that at 10 a.m. you want to take a coffee break, or you want to make this phone call, or you want to... So just write down everything. And when you will tick all the tasks at the end of the day, you will feel good because you will feel that you've achieved something during your day. And I think it's very, very important nowadays to feel that our days were very useful and that we were helping someone, or we were just helping ourselves by achieving something. So yeah, the to-do list is my first advice, and the second advice is just to try to find all the things that can make you feel happy during your days. Maybe you will discover a new passion. Maybe you will discover that you like cooking, or maybe gymnastic, whatever. So yeah, just keep in mind that you have to keep some tasks during your days which make you feel happy. And if it's just go to the shower and take a warm shower, or take a bath, or if it's just a little thing, or watch this whole series, do it. Just do it, because you will feel that you need something that makes you feel great after all at the end of the day. So if you cannot achieve something great and something big, just making your bed in the morning can be just an achievement, and you will rediscover that. You will rediscover the little things and the little wins of the day. And the positive way to see this whole situation, because yes, you can still have some positive sides in this, is that I think today we are challenging our brain and our minds to grow and evolve differently. After this COVID-19, we will become even more stronger than before. We are just challenging ourselves today to find new habits and to still fill our days with something. So we are just growing differently, and we are thinking differently. So as we may say, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change and to adapt ourselves to a new situation. And it's definitely what we are doing right now. So if you choose to just take what is happening and evolve and go with this, and just try to find new possibilities for you to live and to still be happy, I think you're just gonna win at the end of this. So I really think we will become stronger after this pandemic, and I'm looking forward to see that. But about the social distancing part that you said, that you mentioned in your question, I think we still have to stay connected, even if it's virtually. Virtually doesn't mean that you're not connected for real. It means just it's a different kind of connection, and you can stay very, very close to your friends and your family, still with all the social media, all the platform that we have today. And we're very, very, very lucky, because we have a range of possibilities to stay connected. So now I have a question for you. How can we navigate anxiety over our career right now?
I think, first of all, anxiety is a stress that comes from a panic. And if you look at your career at the moment, there is no really well-defined goal, right? A career is more likely like a work you do either to improve yourself or improve the company you are working in, or bring something to the world. Mm-hmm. But there is no aim. It's a daily basis work that you do and try to be better than yesterday. So the anxiety over a time where everything stopped because a virus is blocking the world right now, I think it's an opportunity to see where we are and what we achieve. I think we should, instead of panicking that everything is slow, because the thing is, it's the same rules for everybody. Mm-hmm. There is nobody advancing faster than you right now in your career, except in the health industry, for example, where my career as a scientist, as an example, can be pushed forward toward the research. But in general, it's a slow down activity for the world economy. So the anxiety should not be replacing by the fact of measuring what did you achieve for so long that you didn't have time to look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, wow, I did this, I learned these skills, I didn't even know that. And put a setup, a stop in time toward the future and say, this is where I am in 2020, how can I see the next decade? Usually people do that in the end of the year for celebrating and say, oh, it's a new year, I have new goal. But this is the chance to do it properly with time, to not rush, to write down expectation for what you want to achieve without putting too much pressure, because the key is time. Mm-hmm. And this time is a time to grow, as you mentioned before. And I don't know if you realize, but by traveling, and I think it's important, you put yourself alone. Yeah. There is no viruses, but you are on the other side of the world, alone in your bed. And sometimes you say, what the dude am I doing here? We are very polite in this podcast. So the idea is, it's during this lonely time that we grow. Yeah. And this is a chance, if I may say, to bring the positivity out of the coronavirus for everybody to grow on their own. Stay connected is great, but when the phone call is over, turn back to yourself and look where you are and how proud did you do for the last 10 years? And doesn't matter which age. You can be 80, you can be 12. Mm-hmm. You learn a lot without even realizing it. Yeah. And I think it's the new way, as you mentioned, to be stronger right after, because life will not go back the same way it was. So how are you going to open the door and face this new world that is waiting for you? Just be proud of what you did and what you've done, and keep going. Write down your dream and tick the boxes one by one, and you will see that someone is looking at you and will be very proud. So I think the message here is anxiety replaced by stop in time, focus, and be proud of what you achieve. Mm-hmm. And right more now. To come.
Yeah, and enjoy just the moment.
And right but as we discussed multiple times as well, like anxiety can come from your surrounding. And if you are doing house sharing, for example, mm-hmm. my question for you will be like, how do you deal? Because managing yourself is one thing, but being surrounded by people you live on a daily life mm-hmm. and not knowing what they do during the day and starting to be stressed about, I don't want to be too much in contact or yes in contact. How did you manage this crisis with your surrounding?
I think communication is the key. It's the same when you're having a relationship. It's very important to communicate and to understand what the other is feeling, how others are facing the situation. Because sometimes some people don't understand what we're facing right now. Some people are not even aware about about the fact that the world is going down, and that's okay. Some people can just not be at the same level of fear, and you just have to understand that, because you have to understand that nobody feel the same way what is happening. So I think just sitting down with the people you're living with and just trying to understand who is thinking what and how everyone is feeling in the house is the first thing. And then you can just set up some rules, like random rules, like the rules that we have from the government, which is like wash your hands, take off your shoes when you're going back home, stuff like that, like very, very basic things, and then trying to stick to them. The big challenge is trying to not fight with other people and trying to keep your stress for yourself, because this is very important to try to deal with your stress. You have your stress when you're working from home, for example, and at the end of the day, you have all your housemates coming. I'm talking for myself, for example, but you have to deal with your stress, because your stress at work have to stay with the work. Like as if you were going to the office and coming back home, you have to keep your stress out of that. And it's the same with the stress with this pandemic. If you have a stress about what is going on, you can talk, you can just sit down, talk, express what you're feeling right now, and just take out of the stress. But you have to also understand that people around you might not feel the same. So
but have you fear one day to be judged?
Yeah.
Taken a decision that is why are you doing this?
Yeah.
How did you manage this anxiety to be judged, if I may say?
Yeah, because this is the fact of vulnerability right now. Nowadays, it's very hard for us to show our vulnerability, because sometimes people think that it's very weak, and I think it's very wrong to think like that. Because if you feel bad, if you want to cry, if you want to express your feelings, just do it. It's better, because when you keep everything inside, one day you just explode. You're just the worst person that you could be, and this is not what we want, right? We always seek to be the best version of ourselves. So discuss, communicate. Communication is key, really, really, really. If you have to, if you want to express something, just express it. And if you want to express it with the people you're living with, it's the best, because they will understand the first, they're at the first step of this.
And talking about your surrounding, how did you manage with the people who have not really taken seriously the situation?
I have a lot of people who are not taking seriously the situation, and you cannot blame
We want some
them.
name. I'm joking.
No. I think you cannot blame people for what they think and how they want to act. I think you can just try to explain to them what is the situation, what are the rules that we have to follow, and also what is the impact that their behavior can make on the world, because it's important to remind people that it's not only for them, but it's also for the people they are surrounded with. Sometimes someone wants to go out and want to touch everything. Okay, you can be sick, but you can also put all the people around you sick too. So this is the most important thing. And a lot of people are not taking this very seriously, because you have all these kind of theories or whatever.
It's difficult.
That's okay. And
I understand it's difficult.
yeah, I understand, and I respect that, because you have to respect like every thinking and every way of thinking, but you also can just try to explain with a non-violent communication, again communication, but like with a non-violent way, what is the real situation right now, and how you can just try to respect some basic rules. Again, I'm not saying to everyone to just stay at home, don't do anything, don't touch anything, don't go out, all right, do it as you want, as with the level that you want to stick with. But just try to stick with the basic rules, because it's not only for you, it's also for the people around you. So now, Mehdi, I have another question for you. So how can you deal with the feeling of stress of going to a public place when, for example, you need to enter to a grocery, or you need to go to the doctor or whatever?
No, I agree that it's a massive fear, because you feel like you go out and you expose yourself to the danger. But the reality is, even if you take some good measurement to protect yourself, it can come from, as we mentioned, the outside world. And the idea here is like, how can you do the maximum on your own to protect yourself and also other? There is elderly that goes to the grocery store with no protection. First of all, they didn't really get the situation. Second of all, they are like not really listening what's happening. They live in their own world in the past.
It's true.
So how do you protect them? How do you start not thinking about, because we live in a selfish world, and sometimes a moment like this can be like, maybe I will not do it just for me, even if I look ridiculous with my mask, but I can do it for someone else who can be exposed. Because you can carry it, have a good immune system, and nothing happened to you, but you kill 5 people.
Yeah.
So
this is hard saying like that, but yes. It's
true. I think at one point, even if you bring some positivity, it's good to call a cat, and we saw like the number of disease and impact of this virus around the world, and to stay and do the maximum on your own is actually, for me, the basic fundamental rules to behave as a community. And the community starts by yourself. And I think that's the message, which is like, okay, maybe I should wear gloves, I don't like that, or I should wear a mask, I should avoid indeed to take the car and to expose myself for public transport just for a bit, because once again, a response is a team effort. If you are the only one doing it, it won't work. If everybody is doing it, it will work. So in a selfish capitalist world, and I respect the world we are living in, it's important to slow down, step back and say, hey, we are all the same here. So let's play together to overcome and see a brighter future that will be a victory for, I like to use this word, the humankind. There is no Chinese, African and American here. This is the humankind. And behaving toward this mindset will help us getting stronger together. And we will talk later on the aftermath of the coronavirus, and that will be very interesting, because there is 2 ways of dealing it. But do what you feel the best for yourself and your surrounding. When you go to the grocery, you need to buy food, that's fine, but take the measure accordingly.
It's true, you're right. And it's not about, as you said, yourself and other around you, but it's also for your family and friends. And we are living now abroad, so how can you deal with the fear for your people from your family which are with higher risk?
Indeed, it's different because we live overseas. That's okay, and that's a choice of life we have decided. So we are far from our family. For example, my mom is a nurse, and I was fear for many weeks and days, because in France there were, like many countries, under-equipped and being exposed. But at one point, same with any type of anxiety and fear, how long are you ready to focus on this negative thought? What can you do to change? Nothing. The reality is nothing. You live overseas and your mom has to work. So except calling and trying to get in touch with the situation, you have to learn. And that's why it's very difficult for the humankind to let it go, because that's a fear that will not go away.
Let it go.
Pretty much like this. But you have to let it go. And when you start letting go, and when I say let it go, it's not giving up, not at all. What I say let it go is to accept the situation and to accept to have no control.
Trying to not control what you cannot control.
And I think that's amazing, because that brings another topic, which is the smaller form of life is destroying and stopping the world. So that's a lesson for all of us that focus on our own self all the time or our financial reward to say, hey, how can we deal with something smaller than blocking our daily life and our routine? And that's why the humankind are struggling, because we consider our species so above the system that we forgot that we are just part of it. We are just house sharing this planet, and I insist on this because it's not the Chinese fault or the American fault. I'm here because I see so many conspiracy theory, because once again we are so weak mentally to assume that something smaller can destroy us. And the humans, since they conquer fire, they believe they are above, which they manage to do and to reach the top of the food chain. But we are still part of this world with all the elements, such as a bird, a virus, a bacteria. And I think that's a good way to remind ourselves to live according to our environment. Environment means also good friend, and I've been talking to you during this crisis quite a lot, and you seem to have overcome with different phases at the beginning, a bit of stress, and then like accepting. And I would love to know what changed during the coronavirus crisis to make you handling it the way you do, like keeping the smile up today and then always going to do what you wanted to do. Never really stop, basically.
Yeah, I think the biggest enemy we have right now, which is also our friend kind of, it's the news. I think you have to set some limit with the news and with social media. You have a lot of different kind of information every day, just on social media, on different internet like website, or even just watching TV or whatever. And you have different kind of news which are not very, very scientific, or it's just like a binge watching of news, right? So you have to deal with that. And I think it's just sometimes good to turn off all of this and just take all just the right news and the basic news from scientific or from the government, and that's it. You don't need to read all these articles. You don't need to read all of what is going on right now in the world, because you just have to deal with yourself, with your life right now, and it's the first thing you have to focus on. You also have to deal with social media, because you have to set up a limit with that. It's very important. It's good to see what is going on around the world and to see funny things. But you have to set a limit of, for example, 1 hour or 2 hours a day, because you don't need that to be happy. So act for yourself, do what makes you feel good and what makes you feel happy. And in the second episode, we will just
start cooking.
You can start cooking or start reading or start doing things that you've never done before.
Something we didn't mention, it's an opportunity to learn as well.
But we will mention it in the second episode, because
that is why you have to stay with us.
Yes. What a teaser. No, but it's just in the second episode we will just give some tips and advices about how you can deal with these fears that we saw today, and just how to still stay happy and smiling every day.
And doing a virtual bisou.
Thank you, Mehdi, for today. Virtual bisou. So virtual bisou, it means a kiss in French. Thank you, Mehdi, for today.
Thank you very much. It has been lovely.
It's been lovely.
Lovely. All right. Have a great day. Bye.